Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too.
But the point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best.
Winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation.
Joe Rogan praised Oleksandr Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury, declaring he's the best ever. Rogan expressed concerns about Fury's condition, suggesting that his previous fights may have diminished his resilience.
He's fighting Usyk again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's a tough fight.
Yeah.
That Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too. He's nonstop movement and his footwork and everything. It's so different than anybody else. Joshua didn't know what to do with him. He's like, where is this guy going to be when I'm throwing punches? He was moving all over the place.
Joe Rogan has praised Oleksandr Usyk, calling him a phenomenal fighter. In one of his podcasts, Rogan admired Usyk's success, exceptional footwork, and technique, describing him as great. Rogan emphasized Usyk's unique ability to outmaneuver opponents, showcasing his skills as a masterful technician in the heavyweight division.
You know, and so when you have an elite athlete like Joshua, who's like fast and knockout power, he can excel without having the kind of technique that a guy like Lomachenko and Usyk were trained by the same guy. They were both trained by Lomachenko's father. So they both have extreme technique. And then you have Bivol and Bitterbeef that just fought. Same thing. Both like super Soviet-style boxing. And you go, whoa, like this is technique. Like really, really high-level technique. But it's rare that someone with that kind of technique gets into the heavyweight division.
And that's why Fury is just a magnificent fight.
Experts say about Usyk, if you're going to fight Usyk, you're going to lose, because he is the best. Rogan said with conviction. For them, the results of Usyk's fight speak for themselves, yet many fans, especially those loyal to Tyson Fury, struggled to admit this truth.
Now, the first thing I've got to say is, why did Tyson Fury lose this? Well, I said in my prediction, there is only one way to beat Oleksandr Usyk. I've been saying the same thing ahead of Anthony Joshua's fights with him, ahead of everyone's fights with him. You've got to fight a kill or be killed fight. And even then, it's not a guaranteed way to beat him. Like, it doesn't mean if you fight kill or be killed, you're going to win. But the point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best at that. I said in that first fight, Tyson Fury had good energy and a good moment up to round 7, and at that point his energy started to go, his punches became less effective, and he was less of a threat. So you need to come into this fight and go in for the kill within those rounds, or you're gonna fucking lose, man. Guaranteed. And I'm not saying like, oh, stick it on him, like as if it's like that simple. You've obviously got to do it, you know, responsibly, cleverly, but you've got to force the issue, because this man, he understands the laws of boxing too well. You've got to break the rules in order to beat him, and that requires you to do unorthodox things, to do unpredictable things. And when you do clip him, empty the fucking gas tank and go after him with every last drop of energy you've got. You've got to race him instead of staying with him, because when you try and stay with him, you have to play by the rules, and when you do that, he wins every fucking time.
Rogan wasn't alone in his praise for Usyk's unique skill set. Many experts have highlighted Usyk's incredible movement and ability to outmaneuver opponents. His footwork is so precise that he can effortlessly close the distance, putting pressure on his rivals with calculated aggression. Unlike flashy boxers who thrive on showmanship, Usyk is all business, focused solely on proving that he's the best fighter in the world.
Usyk's movement is so damn good. Nice. Alright, one thing I love about Usyk, he gets right on his opponent. Usyk answered it. He goes, I'm ready. Your Excellency, Turkey, please make this matchup, right? And I love that he's just, you can tell he's an athlete who just wants to prove that he's the best, right? There is no showboating. There is no trash talking. He's like, yes, we can do it. Well, we'll fight again. And I think after he beats Daniel Dubois, he's already beat Daniel Dubois. He's already beat Anthony Joshua twice. He's already beat Tyson Fury twice. If he beats Daniel Dubois twice, there's nothing left for this man to prove in boxing. I think this man lays the gloves down, walks away from the sport of boxing, spend time with his children, his wife. He mentioned his kids are in judo, and I think it'll be awesome for him to be able to walk away from the sport on top.
Teddy Atlas, a legendary boxing trainer and analyst, weighed in on Usyk's greatness by asking a question that resonates with the boxing community: who is going to beat Oleksandr Usyk? Atlas has consistently praised Usyk's adaptability, noting that his ability to adjust his strategy mid-fight is unparalleled.
Who's going to show up? The winner, the guy named Usyk, who always finds it, because he doesn't let it get away from him, because he knew that if he let another round go like that, it could get away from him. The momentum starts to flow that way. So what does he do in the 6th round? He comes out and dominates the round. He comes out and takes control. And what does he do for the next 5 rounds, whatever? At least on my scorecard. And maybe on the judges, I didn't see their score. But for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th round, 5 rounds in all, I give it to him.
Last question for you. One word answer. It's an easy one. Will anyone in this era beat Oleksandr Usyk, yes or no?
There's one guy out there.
Name him.
Father Time.
Experts and analysts like Spencer Oliver and John Rawling have delved into what makes Usyk extraordinary. They emphasize that Usyk's impact goes beyond his performances in the ring. His discipline, humility, and dedication to his craft inspire not just boxing fans but athletes across all sports. Usyk represents the best qualities of a champion, both as a fighter and as a person.
He's a man of his word, but he's also he's a superstar of what he does inside and outside the ring. You know, we know what's going on in Ukraine and what he stands for, and you know that passion, that emotion comes with him inside the ring, and we see that in his performances. Like, he's a guy, an incredible guy that, like, you get to round 9 and you think now that, you know, they're starting to feel it here, the psychological battle's coming in, they're blowing a gasket, fatigue's setting in, but he's a guy that's got the ability to be able to turn a screw and turn it on in those last championship rounds, and that is the difference between him and the others.
Actually, within the context of a fight, isn't he? He knows when to put the pressure on. He reads a fight so well. And if it's close, you know he's going to find that little extra gear.
John, it's that last 30 seconds of each round, when the round's close and you're thinking, which way is this going to go here? Because it was seesawing all the time in there. He's got the ability to, that last 30 seconds, to switch it on, put those combinations together, and that's the eye-catching stuff, the stuff that stays in the judge's mind. And they're the ones where them swing rounds, where they were quite close, that was what was getting him the rounds. That was just enough. So, you know, he might land a couple of big right hands or a little combination, and that sticks with the judge, and I think that's the way the sort of fight went. Very close fight.
Though combat sports journalist Luke Thomas described Usyk's most recent performance as very elite, he highlighted the meticulous preparation and flawless execution that Usyk brought into the ring. According to Thomas, Usyks' dominance silenced critics who doubted his ability to maintain his supremacy at the highest level.
That the people in boxing make around him, and then there is just the fucking wrecking ball that is Oleksandr Usyk, and he shred those plans and never let them come to fruition today with a very, very, very good performance, a elite performance, if ever there was one. I said this during the middle of the broadcast, and I'm going to repeat it here for folks who might be just joining us at the moment, which is that if there was something that really kind of signified the strength of Mayweather in his prime, or at the end of his prime, certainly at a bare minimum, if you didn't get enough rounds to win in the first 6, you're going to be in the latter half of that bout. You got the first 6 rounds to do something, and if you don't really get it going there, it's curtains for you. And Usyk has exactly that same kind of gene. Usyk isn't just good down the stretch when he needs to be. Usyk is clutch. There have been multiple times at cruiserweight against some of his toughest foes, Breedis and others, in that Super 6 series, and certainly at heavyweight as well. There's been rounds he needed to win.
Oleksandr Usyk's list of accomplishments reads like a blueprint for boxing greatness. He has won an Olympic gold medal, unified titles in the cruiserweight division, and now reigns supreme as a heavyweight champion.
But the interesting part about this one is, for as clutch as he is, and of course he came through here again yet today in just the most remarkable of fashion, he didn't really have to rescue any part of this. He was never, it seemed like, super down at any point. It was closely contested in my view, whatever the fucking AI judge was doing. It was still, obviously, it felt a little bit pins and needles in big parts of it, but I just really want to take a moment to appreciate a guy undefeated and has achieved essentially at the highest level everywhere he has gone. He has done winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation. 2 times against Joshua, 2 times against Fury, beating Dubois.
Experts have long been fascinated by Usyk's movement, often describing it as the foundation of his success. Usyk is a stud, they say, marveling at his fluid footwork and ring intelligence. His ability to control the pace and positioning of a fight allows him to outthink and outmaneuver larger opponents, showcasing a level of skill rarely seen in boxing.
It drove me crazy. But Oleksandr Usyk is a stud. That dude is so difficult to fight. He's got great movement, and this is, when we talk about it, he's faster, He's elusive, so Tyson misses a lot of shots on him, which only makes him tired. Tyson was too big, carrying too much weight. I'll give him credit. He actually performed better. When I looked at him at the weigh-in and he kept his jacket on, I was like, dude, you're telling me something.
Why'd you spend 3 months away if you weren't going to get yourself in tip? I felt like he was in good shape.
That's what it seemed like to me. I just looked at it and, his corner, I would turn on the sound when the round ended to see what his corner was saying and stuff, and they were telling him, kind of the right stuff, but they were kind of trying to cheerlead him. They were cheerleading him, trying to get him going and stuff. And it was like, you're just not the guy that's going to end up beating Usyk. He's got your number, and he understands how to stand in front of you. When you throw, he usually starts it. He knows your counter, and then he's countering your counter, and he's landing. And he landed at a much better percentage. He landed more shots. He easily won the fight. I didn't think it was close.
Usyks' latest victory leaves little room for debate. He is one of the greatest boxers of all time. By outclassing his opponents, he has proved his mettle in ways that resonate with both fans and critics. This win isn't just another notch on his belt, it's a statement that Usyk belongs in the pantheon of boxing legends.
Usyk winning this fight shows you that he is one of the all-time greats in the sport of boxing, and he's not done yet. You think maybe with that win, it would be like, what else do I have to do? Well, he's going to continue building a legacy and staying in the heavyweight division. I know some people talked about him going down and fighting Jai Opetaia. I don't see that happening. He's 220-plus pounds now. Daniel Dubois wants his revenge. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, close fight. Usyk is the winner. Again, when I watched live, I saw a draw there. 7-5 Usyk wouldn't upset me. 8-4, again, close round, so I guess I can understand it.
Let's talk about Oleksandr Usyk. Let's talk about an all-time great. One of, if not the greatest of this generation. Certainly of heavyweights. But I would go further than that and say of all these fighters. Because Oleksandr Usyk is the gold standard of what a true fighter, in the truest sense, a true honest fighter, should be. This is a guy who has never shied away from a challenge. I was looking at his resume. Someone actually posted it. I think it might be, let's call it Michael Benson. I think that was the one. It was Michael Benson. It's Ring Magazine now. But they posted his resume of his last, I think, 14 fights, thereabouts. It's phenomenal. Oleksandr Usyk, I think, was 9-0 when he fought Krzysztof Glowacki back in Poland way back, 2016, 8 years ago. And I'm just going to reel this off, right? Krzysztof Glowacki in Poland. Bisa Machunu in America. Michael Hunter in America. Marco Huck in Germany. Myris Bradis in Latvia. Marek Asiev in Russia. Tony Bellew in the UK. Shez Witherspoon being kind of the exception, in all fairness. No disrespect, but kind of is. In America.